All right, everybody. I think we have gone live. I'm just going to give it a second to make sure that everything is going through nice and smooth. All the streams that we have getting out there from Zoom to Facebook. Yes, it looks like we are live. And can I hear you, Lawrence?
Yes, you can always hear me, mate.
Oh, brilliant. All right. So that's a pretty good start to the Monday, to the week. Welcome to everybody jumping on. I can see a few of you starting to tick by and join us today for the coffee catch-ups. And like I said, I have a quite exciting guest coming on today. Someone who is probably quite inspirational for me actually running this coffee catch-up, to be fair, Lawrence. Because what you do with your podcast is truly inspirational. And I hear you've had some pretty amazing guests on there as well. So I hear. But welcome, Lawrence, and thank you for joining us with Wealth Mentor and the Coffee Catch-Ups. So obviously we've had a bit of a relationship over the last year or so and got to know each other really well. And there's some really cool things that we've done and seen what you've gone through and what you're doing. So how about let's start off with how did we even end up meeting and who you are? Over to you, my friend.
Yeah, thanks, Jono. I'll just to anyone that doesn't know, my name is Lawrence Lotze. I run the Wolf of Queen Street podcast series, a business and property podcast series across Australasia and the rest of the world. An occasional sprinkle of a bit of chaotic difference in the podcast. For example, I interviewed Donald Duck, the guy that does Donald Duck for Disney. No, it has nothing to do with business. No, it has nothing to do with property, but I'm a real fan, so I had to have him on my show. But yeah, Jono, coming back to where we actually met, I was crewing at, was it Robert Kiyosaki's event in Auckland?
It was a Gary Vee event, wasn't it?
No, Gary Vee event, I've met with some of the crew members.
That's
yes.
Right.
I met some of the crew members at the Gary Vee event, but you personally, I ran in at the Robert Kiyosaki event. I can still remember it as vividly as we were upstairs afterwards having drinks with Robert Kiyosaki. Jono came in and I was with, might have been with Karen and Natalia was around, or a few of those, and they introduced me to you. And I was like, hey, what's up? Having a bit of a chat. It was the first time we'd actually met at face to face at that event.
It was really, it was quite cool how it's all eventuated. And now, you're obviously a big part of the Wealth Mentor family. You help us out with our social media elements. And I know that social media is a real passion of yours. And for a lot of people, social media can be kind of a real opportunity to get their brands out there or to get their name out there, to build themselves as a brand. And you've obviously big on that. So in terms of social media, what are some of the things that you think, as individuals could do or businesses could do, or what are some of the trends that you're seeing within social media that you think would really benefit the viewers?
I think one of the biggest things that's changing from a couple of years ago to now around the social media world is there's so many different platforms, which becomes overbearing to most people, right? TikTok blew up last year. TikTok's been around for over 5 years, but it blew up last year. You had TikTok, you had Twitch that came in on the outsiders that most people don't understand. Obviously, Instagram's there, Facebook, you've got Pinterest, you've got Snapchat. Snapchat's moved away from originally what it was made to now more being social media. The challenge we have, there's so much going on that you've got to try and understand where is the benefit to a brand. Now, bringing it back to most of the people that will be watching today that are business or property, if we invest in property, we look at today, this week, this month, where's the best location to invest in? Where's the best returns? Where's the money going to make the most value, right? That's how we invest or how we go in business. So social media is the same way. So you got to figure out this week, this month, what is the best platform to what I want to reach, which fundamentally is reach an audience, impressions or customers out there. Where can I get the most for no money, or where can I get the most for $1 or $2? Because each platform, every single month works differently. LinkedIn 1 month is exceptionally easy to reach customers. On the next month, it's exceptionally hard. The last couple of weeks on LinkedIn have been exceptionally hard. There's a talk about them bringing in promotions, and you have to pay to reach back that audience. So that's one of the biggest things in social media at the moment is understanding which platform at the right moment is giving you the most for your money. So you're getting the most ROI on that social platform and spending all your focus for that week or that month right there. And then the next month, it could be and we're going to move. And that's the sort of things that people got to look into.
I absolutely love how you have just referred to social media in terms of ROI, because return on investment, how hard is your money working for you, is so essential. And probably as well as that ROI on your time as well, because I mean, there's a time commitment to building social media as well. So just in terms of when I hear you talking there, Lawrence, there's a bit of a twang there. So obviously neither of us are New Zealand born, both of us are South African born, which is quite cool as well. I would actually like to know from everybody that's joining us today, or even watching this as a recorded, where were you originally born and where you're investing now? Just as a bit of an interesting sort of element, or not necessarily investing, sorry, where you're living now. Because for me, born in South Africa, live in New Zealand, invest in New Zealand, and for you, similar. And you actually are quite a passionate property investor yourself.
Yeah, totally. So obviously, as Jono said, my twang's a lot stronger than Jono's. He tries to look like a fake South African. I'm still, purely pretty thick on it. Yeah, born in Cape Town, South Africa. I've been here, from 2007, so going on almost 14, 15 years. Yeah, investments, property, New Zealand, that's where it is. From a physical property point of view, I invest in the New Zealand space. It's just so much worth it. There's obviously other opportunities around in the world in investments. Doesn't necessarily mean it's just property.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of those people that I like to have a very successful cash flow on the one side of things, and then have an experimental in small areas on the other side to sort of equate down my eggs in one basket situation. So yeah. This is stable, but again, this is stable for now. It doesn't mean it's stable for tomorrow, next week, next month. So I've got to look on these side of things and try to protect myself as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when it comes to business as well, I mean, what you've done with your podcast is truly inspirational. I know I joked at the start of the coffee catch up around the fact that you've had some pretty wicked guests. Yes, I've been on your show, and that was, it was really cool to see what your podcast or your show has done, and the evolution of your brand. Like everyone, like you said, the Wolf of Queen Street, brilliant name, by the way. I absolutely love that. How has that all kind of eventuated? I mean, it's been, what, 2.5 years since your first podcast?
Yeah, it's been a 2.5 years. It felt a lot longer than for me due to medical and personal challenges through those time periods. But I originally started the Wolf of Queen Street podcast. So I started a podcast because I had the knack, like Jono has, that I could go into a room and chat to anyone, and I could hold a conversation with most people depending on what topics we're talking about. And it finally came to a stage where people said, hey, you should look at doing a show or chatting to people and do a podcast. And 2.5 years ago, podcasting wasn't as massive as it is now because of obviously COVID and that stuff. It was still seen as a very small view and way of growing your business. The top podcasters were, there was a handful of them, but everyone else just left it alone. So I thought I'd give it a go and start in that. And I did a knockoff of the Wolf of Wall Street, obviously Jordan Belfort. I thought I was super cool and the man, and I looked like awesome. So my original branding was the Wolf of Queen Street, me in a white suit from Vegas in the same coloring as the Wolf of Wall Street, because I thought I was going to become rich and famous like him, interviewing these top business owners throughout the world and hearing these secrets and all the rest of it. And I started going down that path and went, oh yeah, that's cool enough and everything else. And as the wonderful world does, it throws you a bit of a curveball. And about 3 to 4 months into this journey, my life got turned totally upside down by being diagnosed with a brain tumor, golf ball sized brain tumor that I had to go into surgery within less than a month or close to a month after being diagnosed. Got through that obviously as well as I could today. But going through that moment and going through that realization and the struggles I had there, not just at being diagnosed, going to the surgeon a month or so months later, I had the real realization that a lot of us go through when we hit bottom or hit a problem really dark of what is actually important. And I realized that those glitz and glamour, hey, look how cool I am, was important to me, but to no one else. So my show itself was me trying to get cool shit for me, but no one else, and it was having no benefit. Don't get me wrong, the guests I had on were amazing what they provided, but what I was trying to offer a wider audience wasn't really true to what they should be getting out of it. And I then slowly pivoted through that time over the first year into what you see the show that is today, The Wolf of Queen Street, which is a lot more colorful. I don't worry about the success of someone social media wise or how big their bank balance is to come on the show. I care more about what their knowledge is and what they can provide an audience, what they can tell and educate people out there to do, so that we can all get something from it. And that's where the show has blossomed exceptionally well, because I've given my customers, and I don't like calling them customers, but I've given my customers actually what they wanted, and all of a sudden the business just went up and grown faster than I can handle.
It's yeah, I mean, is it 75 episodes you were telling me? 75th one just about to be released.
Yeah. 75th episode's coming out tomorrow with again a brand that I love. It's the guys that I'm wearing right now. If anyone knows me, Naked You is a clothing brand they've supported me from day dot, and yeah, so we have their story coming out tomorrow, and it's something I'm really excited about. But it's, again, like I said, it's understanding. Again, I'll bring it back to the property world, and Jono, I love this. You've got to understand it as an investment in property, and what we do. Some people flip properties. Some people go in and buy and hold. Some people go in and do apartments and townhouses and units, and we've each got our own different understanding of where our passion is. In the social media and the podcast and in my world, it was actually really understanding where that passion is, and that's giving out to other people, and then finding the best way to be able to get that to people through, obviously social media, the podcast, YouTube, and so forth.
Absolutely, and it really comes through the passion that you put forward, and on everything that you do is very much about helping and providing people, and it probably aligns very much with Wealth Mentor, and hence why you've gone through and done a number of our programs and very much involved with Wealth Mentor, the whole concept of making wealth accessible to all. So you talk about helping people. Do you feel like that is your purpose, like what you really want to achieve in regards to helping people?
Yeah, it is. It's I'm realizing more that I've got it. It's a hard one to acknowledge, right? It's a hard one to go out and go, hey, I'm someone that wants to go out and help people, and I think I know enough to be able to help people. That's a really hard personal fight to go, because you've got to admit that you've got to admit you've got something, and you've got to admit that you've got something that could help other people. And depending on your imposter syndrome, which is something a lot of people struggle with, I do quite a lot, is, am I important enough? And I use the words important loosely, but am I important enough to try and help someone? And it's something that I'm working through and realizing, yes, I do have the benefit to try and help people, educate them where I can, and do it freely. And that's where I'm unconditionally inspired with my audience out there. And that's why I try the biggest. And it's one of the big things that leads me into what I'm doing with Wealth Mentor and the courses that I offer, especially a big thing that I'm trying to do at the end of the year of reaching. I told John I've got a goal for myself for a worldwide course, which I'm just about to release at the end of the year. And it's crazier than anything else that I've done, but I'm hoping by doing it, I can help so many people out there.
Straight away with the goals. I love that. So I've told you about my lockdown goals. I'll share them with you. So far I have exercised every day. That's been freaking hard. I've drunk my 2 liters of water before I have my beer. I'm getting through it. Did you set yourself some lockdown goals?
Yeah, no.
That's cool. But you've got your goals with what you're trying to achieve with your brand and stuff, which is amazing. And it's so important to have those to be able to drive it. So it's definitely the accountability, knowing that I have to jump on there and exercise. And it's quite cool because we talk about inspiring people and helping people. I've actually been quite overwhelmed by the messages I've got from friends, from people that follow me on social, saying how, it's inspired them to go out there and start doing some exercise, even just inspiring them by the fact that, hey, Jono's doing some exercise. Jeepers, I'm inspired now. I'm going to get out there and do something. So, that's the joys that we have by the position that we're in, to be able to inspire others. And you certainly do that. In saying that, what would be, if you were to pick out 2 or 3, and besides me and besides Kyron, because I know that we're probably your favorite 2 guests, who are 2 or 3 of your favorite guests, ones that really stood out, that have either inspired or entertained, or who are those people?
Well, the couple of guests that really inspired me are the guests that sometimes sit just outside of what I'm offering my audience. Remember, I said I started the show and it's evolved to giving the education. So, everyone I get on the show, I've got a great relationship. I take a little bit of words and it inspires me. It inspires me to learn more, go down the path. But there's some guests that I brought on purely and selfishly just for me because I've known about them or won about them. One of the very earliest guests in the first, I think, 9 months was a guy called the Iron Cowboy, James Lawrence. He's got a Netflix special about him. He's known as one of the hardest human beings in the world by his running and what he does. And to me, he was what I called my first celebrity guest on the show. And to me, early on in my podcast, that was really inspirational. And to see it, so that's something to me is still a really amazing point. And then recently, sort of a couple of the guests that got on, Jimmy Morris that I had a couple of weeks ago, the guy that the Disney movie The Rookie about, the oldest Major League Baseball pitcher in history at 35. I've watched the movie The Rookie multiple times a year, every single year since it comes out. I played baseball as a kid. I love Disney inspirational movies, and it was close to my heart. So to interview him, been watching his story for the last 20 years was super cool. I had to tell him off air before we started. I said, I apologize if I get giddly and I get laughy and I get silly because I'm actually sitting across someone that I've followed as a hero to me for the last 20 years. And here you sitting here talking to me. So that was something cool as well.
I don't know that you were so excited about that because you every time I saw you, you'd tell me and you get your little giggly. Yeah. Yeah, it's really quite inspirational. Lawrence, one of the questions that I jump in there and love to ask the guests, and it's something obviously that means a lot to us at Wealth Mentor. It's even in our name. And the question is, what does wealth mean to you?
It's an interesting one. Jono, I was talking about it just the other day, and I said to him, someone else just asked me recently. So I'll give you my answer, and then I have to go back and see if it was similar to an answer I did about a month ago. And I'm hoping it's close enough that it shows that my mind has the same feeling. But to me, wealth is being able to do what I want, when I want, and inspire others without ever having to worry about what my bank balance is doing.
It's yes. I mean, that really is exactly what it means to a lot of people. I mean, yeah. And then it's identifying, I guess, what it is that you want to do, and then really drawing on that. So, have you got some real things that you really want to do with your time? Is there special things that you see you spending your time on besides social media?
I look at, if I got to the stage where I achieved wealth in what I see the worth it to me is, I wouldn't have more time to myself. I'd have less time because I would give more of my time to others. So down the path of where I see myself going is I was going to events, helping people, educating people. It doesn't necessarily have to be around social media, podcasts, and it can be about overcoming challenges in life, mental health, as well as giving my time in big, large charity organizations. It's something very big to myself. It's going to help other people that are in need, whether that's going collecting food for them, going building stuff for them, going helping them. It's doing that. Organizations that I've been previously with, we went and built for one of the local schools just out in Auckland. They are a very low decile school. They struggled quite a bit that most of the kids that came to the school would not be fed or not being fed from home. So what we went and did is we went and planted a whole lot of plant boxes for the school so that they started a garden to plate program so they could grow fruit and veggies that every day at lunchtime, the kids would eat the fruit and veggies from the garden that was planted at the school so they could be fed, and doing more things like that with my time.
Yeah, it's awesome. So powerful. And I know that the guests that we've got on for the rest of the week, I'm sure will be quite inspirational in the same token. We've actually got Belinda joining us tomorrow, who I know has also been on your show and has shared stages on a few pretty impressive people as well, representing Wealth Mentor. So that'll be super exciting to see how she comes on the, with what that wealth element means to her. So Lawrence, we are coming towards the end, and I'm going to give you the floor just for a minute to we've got quite a few people jumping on live, and I know that, the last few episodes we've had about 300-400 people, if not more, jumping in and watching. I haven't actually checked the updated numbers since Friday, the recording. So you get your opportunity to share, a couple of words that would, that could inspire or something that you'd like to share.
Thanks, Jono. And thanks again for the opportunity. If I don't say this at the end, to anyone that's watching it live now at the moment or in the replay, one of the biggest things that you will realize going through your journey where you are today or tomorrow and everything else is we are going to stumble, we are going to fall, there are going to be curveballs. I went through it myself, hitting rock bottom of the darkest place, not knowing due to my surgery I was going to be alive the next day, the next week. One of the biggest things that I learned from that is we got to just make a decision and then take that first step from it. So whatever that fear that you have, whatever the darkness you have, whatever you're struggling for, the most difficult thing you've got to overcome is not the whole journey, it's that first step. Because once I take that first step and I look back and go, hey, that problem I had is actually now behind me. It might only be one step behind me, but it is now behind me. And I can slowly move one step at a time to achieve where I want to go further down that path. And that could just be learning more, reading more, being educated, reaching out to someone and saying, hey, I need some help. Reaching out to someone and asking for help. There's nothing wrong with that. I had to have done that multiple times and had to reach out and go, I need help. By doing that, it takes that one step and you've done that hardest part. And believe you me, after that, it goes a lot quicker. And that enjoyment, the passion, the stuff that's really important to you just slowly starts flowing back into your life.
Inspirational as always, my friend. So I know that a lot of people watching this will want to find you. Obviously, the Wolf of Queen Street, you're on Spotify, you're on YouTube, you're all over the place. And any other quick little places people can find you? I know if you rattle off all your social medias, we'll be here for another half an hour. So
no, I'm on pretty much every social platform you can find out there. Lawrence Lotze, or the Wolf of Queen Street. You'll find me on all the different social platforms. By all means, please jump on over. No matter whichever platform you prefer, jump on over, come and see me, drop me a comment, say hi. I love being able to see people that have saw me somewhere else, and we can have a little chat about the relationship. We can chat about what you think about Jono. We can just do that on the side, right? We can have a bad chat as well.
Brilliant. Brilliant. I think that sounds like an awesome topic to me. And for those of you as well, remember, one of my goals is to double my Instagram followers. So make sure you head over to my Instagram and give me a follow, because I need to hit that goal. Thank you very much for joining us today, Lawrence. Thank you everybody for jumping on live. Awesome to see the comments. For those of you watching the recording, make sure you let us know what you think of it, like the video, and we'll see you again tomorrow, same time, same place, with the wonderful Belinda. Have an awesome day, guys. And most importantly, stay awesome.